Daisy Hilton and Violet Hilton were a pair of British conjoined twins or Siamese twins who toured in the US sideshow and vaudeville circuit in the 1930s. Early life: the girls were born in Riley Road, Brighton, England, on February 5, 1908. Their mother was Kate Skinner, an unmarried barmaid. The sisters were born joined by their hips and buttocks. They shared blood circulation and were fused at the pelvis but shared no major organs. Skinner's boss Mary Hilton, who helped in childbirth, apparently saw commercial prospects in them, and thus effectively bought them from their mother and took them under her care. The girls first stayed above the Queen's Head pub in Brighton, but later moved to the Evening Star pub. According to the sisters' autobiography, Mary Hilton with her husband and daughter kept the twins in strict control with physical abuse. They had to call her Auntie Lou, and her husband Sir. They trained the girls in singing and dancing. A medical account of the birth and a description of the twins was provided for the British Medical Journal by Dr. James Augustus Ruth, the physician in charge at the time of their birth. He reported that subsequently the Sussex Medico-Chirurgical Society considered separation, but unanimously decided against it as it was believed that the operation would certainly lead to the death of at least one of the twins. He notes that these twins were the first to be born in the United Kingdom conjoined and to survive for more than a few weeks. Publicity. The Hilton sisters toured first in Britain at age 3 as the United Twins. Mary Hilton took them onto a tour through Germany, then to Australia, then to the USA. In true sideshow manner, their performance was accompanied by an imaginative history. Their controllers kept all the money the sisters earned. In 1926 Bob Hope formed an act called the Dancers with the Hilton sisters, who had a tap dancing routine. When Mary died in Birmingham, Alabama, her daughter Edith and husband Maya Mayers, a former balloon salesman, were with the girls and took over management of the girls. Held mostly captive, the girls were hit if they did not do as the Mayers wished. They kept the twins from public view for a while and trained them in jazz music. Violet was a skilled saxophonist and Daisy a violinist. They lived in a mansion in San Antonio, Texas until the early 1930s. In 1931, the sisters gathered enough courage to sue their managers, gaining freedom from their contract and $100,000 in damages. They left the sideshows and went into vaudeville as the Hilton Sisters Revue. Daisy dyed her hair blonde and they began to wear different outfits so they could be told apart. They had numerous affairs, failed attempts to get a marriage license, and a couple of short marriages. In 1932, the twins appeared in the film Freaks. In 1951 they starred in Chained for Life, an exploitation film loosely based on their lives. Later Life and Deaths. The Hiltons' last public appearance was in 1961 at a drive-in cinema in Charlotte, North Carolina. Their tour manager abandoned them there, and with no means of transportation or income, they were forced to take a job in a nearby grocery store. On January 4, 1969, after they failed to report to work, their boss called the police. The twins were found dead in their home, victims of the Hong Kong flu. According to a forensic investigation, Daisy died first. Violet died between 2 and 4 days later. They were buried in Forest Lawn West Cemetery. Legacy. In 1989 a musical based on the twins, 20 Fingers 20 Toes, with book by Michael Danziger and Bob Nigro and music and lyrics by Michael Danziger, premiered at the WPA Theatre and ran for 35 performances. The script can be found in the New York Public Library for the Performing Arts. It began as an accurate portrayal of the twins' early life, but then included a wholly fictitious plot by their keepers to have them surgically separated as adults. In 1997, a Broadway musical loosely based on the sisters' lives, Sideshow, with lyrics by Bill Russell and music by Henry Krieger, received 4 Tony nominations. A 2014 revival of the musical by the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. was called the boldest and most splendidly realized production by the Kennedy Center since the Sondheim celebration in 2002. This production will be moving to Broadway at the St. James Theatre in the fall of 2014. This revival will begin previews on October 28 with an official opening night on November 17. In 2012, Leslie Zemeckis filmed an award-winning documentary Bound by Flesh on the lives of the twins. The Hollywood Reporter called it a scrupulously researched, and a masterful film. The number 708 bus in their birth town of Brighton, England is named in their honor. In 2014, a revival of Sideshow will open on Broadway at the St. James Theatre on November 17 starring Erin Davie as Violet and Emily Paget as Daisy. References. External links. Daisy and Violet Hilton at Find a Grave, San Antonio. Siamese twins have unlike fingerprints, http www.hollywoodreporter.com. Bound by Flesh Film Review 382383